Oh, they gave me the wrong envelope. Wait till the NAACP hears about this.
The Oscars are like the Super Bowl for movie buffs. A night of glitz, glamour, and sometimes downright bizarre.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was almost bound to happen.
The Academy Awards have seen their fair share of odd, awe-inspiring, and eyebrow-raising tales over the years. Let's dive deep into some of the most peculiar and untold stories from the annals of Academy Award history.
And the winner is...
Where's the envelope?
We don't have an envelope.
We'll never know who the winner is.
Nominated by another name. Robert Towne, the acclaimed screenwriter known for his work on Chinatown, had a unique approach when it came to the credit for one of his scripts. Dissatisfied with the final version of Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Towne decided not to use his own name in the credits. Instead, he used the name of his dog, P.H. Vazak, for the screenplay credit. This unusual choice led to an Oscar nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay under the canine alias, making it the first dog to be nominated for an Oscar for screenwriting.
Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes. Screenplay by P.H. Vazak and Michael Austin.
Towne's story, with its blend of humor, defiance, and sheer oddity, offers a glimpse into the less glamorous aspects of filmmaking. It's a reminder that behind every polished movie is a tumultuous journey of creation and compromise. For Towne, using his dog's name as a pseudonym was perhaps a small act of rebellion, a way to leave his mark on a project that no longer felt entirely his own.
If you've ever been on a film that didn't quite work out, you know how much you owe to the people on a film that did.
The DIY Oscar. The backdrop of World War II brought unprecedented challenges to the globe that even the glamorous world of Hollywood wasn't spared. In a show of solidarity with the war effort, the Academy made a significant, albeit temporary, alteration to its most coveted prize. From 1942 to 1945, the gleaming gold-plated Oscar statuettes were replaced with painted plaster versions, a stark departure from the opulence typically associated with the awards.
I knew that Look gave an award, but this is the first time I ever knew that Reader's Digest was in this racket.
Well,
This period is often referred to as the plaster years, with Oscar winners receiving their awards with a mix of pride and amusement. These plaster Oscars were symbols of resilience, a collective nod to the sacrifices being made across the world. Winners were promised that their temporary trophies would be exchanged for the traditional gold-plated versions once the war was over, a promise that the Academy duly fulfilled.
I want to present you this award for the Best Actor of 1945, Ray Milland, Lost Weekend.
The DIY Oscars of the war years are a fascinating chapter in the Academy's history, showcasing the industry's ability to adapt and persevere in the face of adversity. These unique statuettes, though not made of the customary materials, were no less cherished by their recipients. They stood as a testament to the enduring spirit of the cinematic community, united in the face of global turmoil.
Praise from our government and our armed forces, and from abroad from our allies for work we have done, should make us determined to carry on.
Playoff music, how it started. When Greer Garson walked on the stage at the 1943 Oscars to accept her Best Actress award for Mrs. Miniver, little did she know she was about to make history, but not just for her acting. Her acceptance speech, which stretched to an epic 7 minutes, remains the longest ever in the history of the Academy Awards. It was such an unexpected marathon that even the presenter, Joan Fontaine, had to take a seat while Garson spoke.
Ladies and gentlemen, I came to this country as a stranger 5 years ago. I've been very happy and very proud to be a member of this community and of this industry.
Garson's marathon moment at the microphone wasn't just a one-off incident. It sparked a significant change in Oscar protocol. The Academy, perhaps wary of future broadcasts turning into all-night affairs, decided it was time to introduce time limits for acceptance speeches. This move was aimed at keeping the ceremony concise and on schedule, ensuring that each winner had their moment without overstaying their welcome. The introduction of playoff music became a gentle nudge for long-winded winners to conclude their thoughts and make way for the next awardee. Today, Oscar winners are encouraged to keep their speeches to a concise 45 seconds, a rule that makes Garson's record seem even more unattainable. Despite some winners famously ignoring the musical cues to end their speeches, none have come close to the length of Garson's. This time limit ensures that the Oscar ceremony remains on schedule and that each winner gets their fair share of the spotlight, all while Greer Garson's speech remains a legendary moment in Oscar history.
Wrap it up, we want to go home!
The mysterious case of the missing Oscar. In a twist that sounds like it's straight out of a movie, a food pantry and thrift shop in Kentucky found a mini Oscar statuette from 1935 among the donations in their thrift shop. But this wasn't just any Oscar. It was linked to the classic film It Happened One Night starring Clark Gable, which swept the 1935 Academy Awards.
I do want to take this opportunity of expressing my thanks and sincere gratitude to Mr. Frank Capra, the director of It Happened One Night.
The statuette's significance was initially overlooked until the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures confirmed its authenticity and historical value related to the movie's remarkable success at the Oscars. The mystery of how this piece of Hollywood memorabilia ended up in a Kentucky thrift shop remains unsolved, but the discovery turned out to be beneficial for Be Concerned. The Academy Museum acquired the mini Oscar for $1,000, a contribution that will assist the pantry in its mission to feed the needy.
And there's still one unsolved mystery: how this Hollywood treasure made it to a shelf in northern Kentucky.
X-rated victory. The film Midnight Cowboy was released in 1969 and is quite legendary because it is the only X-rated film to win the Oscar for Best Picture.
The winner is Midnight Cowboy.
Back in the day, the X rating was given on films that were really pushing the envelope with adult content, and Midnight Cowboy had its fair share of raw and explicit scenes. The main leads in the film are John Voight, playing the sweet but naive guy who thinks he's going to strike it rich as a male prostitute, and Dustin Hoffman, who's this ailing con man with a heart of gold under all that grime.
Come on now, don't hit me. Come on now. Come on, I'm a cripple.
What makes Midnight Cowboy stand out isn't just its bold content, but how it dives deep into the gritty side of American life, way beyond the glitz and glam. It's not just a story about the hustle. It's a poignant look at friendship, survival, and the pursuit of dreams in the concrete jungle of New York City. Despite its initial X rating, the film was later toned down to an R rating, making it more accessible. However, it's the raw performances and the real-deal portrayal of life's rough edges that earned it the Best Picture Oscar, making it a classic in the world of cinema.
I'd like to thank you all very much on behalf of everyone connected with the making of the film, with a particular thank you to David Picker and United Artists, who made it all possible.
Withdrawn Oscar. Nino Rota, the acclaimed composer behind the score for The Godfather 1972, crafted a musical backdrop that became instantly iconic. His music was a big deal for the movie, mixing Italian vibes with the mafia drama to set the perfect mood. It was so good that it got an Oscar nomination for Best Original Score and supposedly won the award.
The winners are Nino Rota and Carmine Coppola.
But here's the twist. The happy ending didn't last long. Turns out, part of the tune Rota composed for The Godfather was something he'd played before in an old Italian comedy movie called Fortunella. The Oscars have a rule that the music's gotta be 100% new, so they had to disqualify him. It stirred up quite the fuss, making people question what original really means in movie music. Despite this controversy, Rota's music for The Godfather is still iconic, and people still love it until today.
Don't fail me now.
Silent but golden. In the world of movies, there's something super special about silent films. They have a way of telling stories with just visuals, no dialogue needed. And when it comes to the Oscars, two films really stand out for celebrating this silent magic. First up, there's Wings from way back in 1927. This film is a big deal because it snagged the very first Oscar for Best Picture. Fast forward to 2011, and we've got The Artist. This flick is a throwback to those silent film days, but it was made in the modern era. It's like a love letter to old school cinema, shot in black and white and silent as a whisper. The Artist takes us back to when movies were making the leap from silent to sound, and it does it with style. Believe it or not, it also won Best Picture, making it the first silent-style film to win since Wings. Pretty cool, right?
And the Oscar goes to The Artist.
Both Wings and The Artist are like two sides of the same coin. One celebrates the original silent film era, and the other gives it a high five from the future. They show us that sometimes the best way to say something is without saying anything at all. It's all about the action, the expressions, and the pure drama of it all. In the end, these films remind us that a well-told story can totally stand on its own without any dialogue.
Perfect! Can you give me just one more?
With pleasure.
The dog that stole the show. You've probably heard of the quirky Hollywood tale about Rin Tin Tin, the superstar German Shepherd who supposedly nabbed the most votes for Best Actor at the first ever Oscars, only to lose out because, well, he's a dog. It's one of those stories that makes you chuckle and wonder about the wacky world of early cinema. Rin Tin Tin was a genuine hero of the silent screen, saving Warner Bros. With his blockbuster films, and the idea that he could have an Oscar to his name just adds to his legend.
Every time they got into trouble, they would release a Rin Tin Tin film and bail themselves out, so they referred to him as the mortgage lifter.
But here's the scoop. That whole Oscar story, it's more myth than fact. As much as we love the thought of a dog winning the most prestigious award in Hollywood, there's no real evidence to back it up. The Academy itself has never confirmed it, and digging into the history books, it says nothing about Rin Tin Tin being a serious contender. It seems this tale is just a fun bit of folklore that's grown legs over the years, a testament to Rin Tin Tin's enduring popularity and the playful nature of early Hollywood tales.
You're ready!
Even without an Oscar, Rin Tin Tin's legacy is untouchable. He's a symbol of the silent film era, a reminder of the days when anything seemed possible in the movies, even a dog becoming one of the biggest stars in the world. So, while the story of Rin Tin Tin and the Oscars might be just a charming myth, it captures the spirit of a bygone era in cinema and the magic that can happen when a dog runs onto the silver screen.
Was he smart? Look. Bye, goodbye, Renty.
From the mystery of the missing Oscar to the dog who was nominated for Best Actor, the Oscars' tales never fail to surprise us. Who knows what unexpected stories future ceremonies will bring? One thing's for sure, the Oscars are always full of surprises, both on and off the screen.
I knew I would screw this show up, I really did. Thank you for watching. I'm back to work tomorrow night on my regular show. I promise I'll never come back. Good night.